Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for viewing another episode of the Coach's Corner. This is Coach Clark.
I'm Coach Clark, SOBs, Miami.
We're here to present to you the breakdown for Week 11 in the Dynasty Fantasy Football League. Coach, the first matchup we're going to look up is the North Carolina Disrespectors versus the Final Destination.
Disrespectors. In the words of Rodney Dangerfield, I'm telling you, I can't get no respect.
The best thing about this coach and the worst thing about this coach is Coach Hamilton Clark is in a must-win situation. This is his final game of the season. And yes, we have another week to go, but unfortunately, Coach Hamilton Clark fell on a bye week for week 12. So it's either win and go home with no respect or with respect. What do you think, Coach?
Well, he has the last spot locked up, so he has next year's first round draft choice. He has luck already. Now let's see if his team can really play.
Now,
he either goes out with a bang or he goes out with a fizzle.
Now, on the other side of that, Coach is Coach Moore is also in a must-win situation considering his record. Coach Moore has only won 4 games, and so if he doesn't, he's currently 4-5. So if he doesn't make the playoffs, if he doesn't win this game, doesn't win next week, he's out. But that's going to be the common thing for the show. Let's move on to Coach Dragonfly Juice versus the Bullies.
In this game, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, I'm going to go ahead and go with Big's Bully because Dragonfly Juice, they're in a must-win situation. Right now, they're second to last. He has 2 wins on the year, which is nothing to write home about. But the bad thing about that is he has 2 tough games.
He has 2 very tough games. And not only does he have to win this week against Big's Bullies, and then he has to beat Team Jackson next week. He needs Greg to lose in order to make the playoffs, but it's still possible. The only reason I think that he has a shot at it, Coach, is because the Bullies' main players and Fitzpatrick and Fred Jackson are going against Miami. Miami, if they have a good day against the Bills, that spells disaster for Biggs.
I agree with you there. Miami has lost a lot of games this year, but they have been winning in every one of their games. So they can play. Can they play a complete game? But once again, I'm going with Big's Bullies on this one.
I'm with you on that one, Coach. I'm going with the Bullies. Next game is the Big Game Hunters versus Pick 'em Up Bust 'em.
This once again, this is an easy game. I'm gonna have to go with Game Hunters on this one. Pick 'em Up Bust 'em by far is the best 4 and 5 team that we have, and it's kind of his own fault because if he was playing the whole year, he would easily have locked the spot in the playoffs already.
Unfortunately, he has.
Yeah, and he's like Dragonfly Juice. He has 2 tough games to finish out the season.
Right, he's in a must-win situation where, of course, he's got to beat the Big Game Hunters, but he has a big, which is doable. But he has so many players that are on bye weeks this week, and then of course next week he has Big's Bullies. So, but on this one, I'm going to take the Big Game Hunters.
I'm with you on that one too, Coach.
Let's definitely take a look at Team Jackson versus the SOBs. If I look at Team Jackson, let me tell you, this is a team that at the beginning of the season, I crowned homecoming queen, but she has had some quality wins. But she's got a tough one this week against the SOBs. She's got an easier matchup next week against CJ and
the Jump Flies. Call them the Jump Flies.
But
Fleet Street All Stars.
But the only reason I say that she has a chance, Coach, is because she's going against a team that before last week had 6 wins straight. They had a 6-game win streak, and then just a debacle. What do you say about that, Coach?
Well, the winning streak was a personal goal of ours, but and it got snapped. We lost to a team that made absolutely no mistakes. I mean, the team bullies. I mean, they played lights out. I mean, come on, their defense put up 34 points. It was a leading scorer for their team. Now, I mean, it was a full moon or something, and if you look at the score, my team, we would have beat an above average team last week, but we didn't play an above average team. We played a pretty good team. But can Biggs Bully play lights out for the rest of the year? I mean, come on. My guys that I counted on played one play and they took it to the house. And we weren't totally out of that game. So, and also he also has another advantage. He has a cheerleader. I didn't know we could draft cheerleaders.
Hey, I didn't know Coach K-Pax was a cheerleader.
I mean, he's rooting in. I mean, he's throwing them pom-poms up and everything. But, I see. And K-Pax is sitting on top of the hill. Ain't really beat nobody yet.
Ain't beat nobody, Coach. But that's neither here nor there. Let's go into the last game.
Neither here nor there.
Let's go into the last game, Coach. This is the Kung Fu Fighters versus the Syracuse Sag.
See, and once again, Syracuse Sag, they're in a must-win situation. They're part of that Gina not 6. If you don't have 6 wins yet, then you're not in the playoffs. So, he either wins out or he wins one and he needs a friend. So, that's the way I feel about that game, man. How about you? What are your takes on that game?
Coach, you're absolutely right. I mean, the Gina not 6 are a group of players who got to get their thing together this week. But for the Syracuse Sag, it's not going to happen this week, okay? Not only is the Syracuse Sag in a must-win situation, the Kung Fu Fighters are in a must-win situation, Coach. Because the simple fact of the matter is, I don't feel like we're getting the respect that we well deserve. We haven't lost to a team that deserved the win, dare I say, okay? I blame it more on the coaching than I do the players. My players have gone out and done everything that I've asked them to do, put up the points that I needed them to put up that week, with the exception of one player. But even with that one player, Coach, I feel like there were moments where I should have made a better decision. That won't happen for the rest of the season. You call me Coach Tebow if you want to. I'm putting it on the line right now that I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that the guys that are following me are going to take the prize home this year. Okay. Now, as far as the actual matchup, Coach, it's a 9-point line, but I just don't think the Syracuse Sag have what it takes to get the prize.
And I agree with you, Coach, on that one. I'm going with your team, the Kung Fu Fighters, on this one. The Sag, they just lost some close ones, and I think and they have a tough game this week, and they definitely have a tough game next week.
And that's the biggest thing. Even if Syracuse Sag were to get a Hail Mary play to win the game this week. They got a tough one next week that I don't believe they can win that. So ultimately, these are the last few games for Syracuse Sag. But are we really missing anything? Have you heard anything from Coach Williams all season? Going into the playoffs, I want to know what's going on. Okay, but anyway, that does it for us this week. This is Ty Clark signing off from the Coach's Corner.
And this is the guy with 2 thumbs that's coming for you.
We'll see you next week, folks.